The Unforgettable Adventure of Professor Corkbottom. Once upon a time in the quaint town of Maryville, there lived a peculiar professor named Quincy Corkbottom. He was known for his wild mop of hair, mismatched socks, and an uncanny ability to find amusement in even the most mundane situations. One day, Professor Corkbottom received a mysterious letter that invited him to explore the hidden treasures of an enchanted forest. Filled with curiosity and armed with an assortment of odd gadgets, Professor Corkbottom embarked on his grand adventure. With each step he took, he encountered strange creatures and absurd challenges that tested his wit and sense of humor. As he ventured deeper into the forest, he stumbled upon an oafish troll named Terry, who demanded a riddle before allowing anyone to pass. Unfazed, Professor Corkbottom quipped, "Why did the scarecrow win an award?" "Because he was outstanding in his field." Terry burst into laughter and waved the professor through. Continuing his expedition, the professor discovered a group of talking mushrooms engaged in a heated debate over who would become their king. Acting as the mediator, Professor Corkbottom suggested a contest to determine the winner. The mushrooms were perplexed but agreed. The professor challenged them to a game of musical chairs, using tree stumps as seats. The finale was a boisterous affair, with the mushrooms hopping madly from one stump to another. After numerous rounds, one mushroom emerged victorious as king, and the others cheerfully accepted their new ruler. Deep within the heart of the forest, the professor's path intersected with a mischievous band of fairies who loved to play pranks. Eager to join in the fun, Professor Corkbottom devised a plan. He built a contraption that emitted bubbles filled with rainbow-colored paint. Floating above the unsuspecting fairies, he released a flurry of bubbles, covering them in a vibrant rave of colors. The fairies, initially startled, burst into laughter at their multicolored appearance. Delighted with his prank's success, they forgave the professor and shared tales of their own playful antics. As the sun began to set, Professor Corkbottom stumbled upon a hidden waterfall. Standing before him was an ancient tree that seemed to know secrets whispered by the wind. The tree informed the professor that his adventure had come to an end but left him with one final challenge: to make someone laugh with a joke that had never been heard before. Caught off guard, Professor Corkbottom scratched his head, pondering over this aching riddle. Suddenly, inspiration struck him like a lightning bolt. Why did the tomato turn red? "Because it saw the salad dressing," he exclaimed. The tree roared with laughter, its branches swaying with delight. With the challenge completed, the enchanted forest rewarded Professor Corkbottom with a magical map leading him back home. As he bid farewell to the creatures and friends he had met along the way, he knew he would treasure this unforgettable adventure forever. And so, Professor Corkbottom returned to Maryville, carrying with him not just memories but a renewed sense of laughter and wonder. From that day forward, he would continue brightening everyone's lives with his unique brand of humor, reminding all who crossed his path that even in the most challenging times, laughter could be found. And thus concludes the whimsical tale of Professor Quincy Corkbottom, the jester of jokes, and his extraordinary expedition through the enchanted forest. The Misadventures of Professor Pumpernickel. Once upon a time in the whimsical town of Wackyville, there lived a peculiar inventor named Professor Pumpernickel. The professor was renowned for his brilliant yet comically unsuccessful gadgets. Despite the constant failures, he remained determined and hopeful, always dreaming of creating something extraordinary. One sunny morning, Professor Pumpernickel woke up with an idea that tickled his funny bone. He decided to invent a pair of shoes that could make him fly. With unmatched enthusiasm, he gathered all the necessary tools and materials and got to work. Days turned into weeks as the professor tinkered away in his workshop, concocting a contraption that would revolutionize footwear forever. Finally, after countless setbacks and paint spills, the professor unveiled his marvelous creation, the Flymesaur shoes. With excitement in his heart, Professor Pumpernickel strapped on his shoes and took them for a test run. As soon as he lifted his feet off the ground, he found himself soaring through the sky, giggling like a child. The townspeople of Wackyville watched in astonishment as the professor danced among the clouds. His reputation as an eccentric inventor fully intact. But as the saying goes, what goes up must come down. And that's exactly what happened to poor Professor Pumpernickel. While enjoying his newfound aerial view, he suddenly realized he had no idea how to descend back to solid ground. Panic set in, and he flapped his arms and legs frantically, causing the townsfolk below to erupt in laughter. As he soared over the town, Professor Pumpernickel spotted a hot air balloon drifting peacefully in the distance. In his desperation, he aimed himself toward the basket and, with a swift and clumsy landing, crashed right into it. To his surprise, the hot air balloon began to rise with him still inside, much to the amusement of both himself and the people of Wackyville. From that day forward, the streets of Wackyville became a playground for Professor Pumpernickel's unintentional comedy. On one occasion, he created a self-peeling banana that ended up sticking to everyone's noses. Another time, he invented an alarm clock that sprayed a stream of water at the sleeper's face, resulting in many unintentional hairdos and damp mornings. Despite the laughs and occasional mishaps that accompanied his inventions, Professor Pumpernickel never gave up. His dream of creating something truly remarkable still burned brightly within him. The townspeople of Wackyville admired his determination and found solace in the joy they experienced from his mishaps. And so, the tale of Professor Pumpernickel's misadventures continued, bringing laughter and happiness to people of all ages. With each failed invention, he taught them the importance of perseverance, humor, and embracing the whimsy that life brings. After all, sometimes the greatest inventions are the ones that make us smile, even if they weren't exactly what we had in mind.